Hey, Renter Retires, it's Adam Schroeder here with another episode, and you are going to see with me or hear with me the youngest guest we have ever had on this show. His name is Dhruv. He just started real estate investing, and we're going to dive into his story, the unique way that he purchased real estate. And so, Dhruv, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
All right, so before we get started too deep, I want you to tell people how young you were when you started investing in real estate.
19.
All right. So there you go, people. You got people 4 times your age looking at buying their first rental property. So really enjoyed that. So tell us, your dad found us and introduced you to us and all of that. What got you into real estate investing, especially at 19? Because 19-year-olds are supposed to be out having fun, are supposed to, being at parties, but drinking soda, those
Oh, yeah,
kind
of
of
course.
things. So what made you step aside and think, you know what, while I'm doing all of this, I should also buy real estate?
Yeah. So again, my dad's big time in real estate. So ever since I was young, I want to say maybe 11, 10, he's always kind of introduced this concept of, you want to be your own boss and you never want to, like, the end goal is to never work for your money. You want to figure out how to make money work for you. So as I got older, I figured out that was from passive income, and real estate was the best way to do so. The problem was I didn't have enough money for a down payment, and
You hadn't mowed enough lawns yet? Is that what you're saying?
nothing. I had nothing in the bank at that time. And my job at the time was Chick-fil-A. I didn't want to spend an ungodly amount of hours at Chick-fil-A working and trying to come up with the down payment, especially since I'm a full-time student as well at Montclair State University. So, and I've always been the type of kid to where if I want something, I want it right away. So that kind of led me to doing a little bit more research, and I was going through some creative financing methods. I was trying to figure out what would be the best for me. Most of them didn't really appeal to me. It seemed a little too far out of reach. So I kind of just left that aside. But then I found out the concept of using life insurance to actually invest in real estate. Now, with a typical life insurance, such as a whole life policy, which I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with, it's very hard to develop, say, a cash value into that policy because they're not designed to do so. They're more designed for the death benefit aspect after you pass away. Now, coincidentally, around 3 to 4 years ago, my parents actually did what's called a 1035 exchange. So it's like a 1031 exchange, except here, you're basically swapping one insurance policy to another without triggering any taxes on any investments. And they didn't just switch my whole life policy, which I've had since I was born, into another whole life policy. They actually transformed it into an index solution. Now, with that index solution, your cash value grows a lot more aggressively. So, and it's more focused on the investment and cash value growth as opposed to just the death benefit. So by the time that I figured this out, I was able to pull money out of that cash value. Actually, no, not out of the cash value directly, but you want to kind of think of the cash value in the policy as, say, your buying power. Because what that does is, let's say your cash value grows to $20,000, for example. You can pull out $20,000 from the death benefit, which again is not your money because that's the insurance company's money. So my cash value is at $20,000, and you take out a participation loan, which lets you take it out of the death benefit. So my cash value is still growing uninterruptedly while I'm using that insurance company money to then put into real estate. So I use that money for my down payment. And now I have monthly income coming in from the real estate property, which then I use to then pay off the insurance. So I'm no longer paying life insurance out of pocket anymore.
90% of real estate investors miss key tax savings by overlooking deductions. Flipping houses, managing rentals, or growing your real estate empire? Make sure you've got experts in your corner, especially when it comes to taxes. That's why we turned to Nevada Corporate Headquarters, the experts who help us reduce taxes and set up our real estate LLCs. With 35 plus years of experience and 17,000 five-star reviews, Nevada Corporate Headquarters helps you manage properties across states, navigate tax laws, and protect your assets, all with a real estate LLC. Visit nchinc.com/RTR to schedule a free real estate LLC formation and tax consultation. Plus, receive a free guide to safeguarding your assets. Yeah. So let's go back to that, because I can't think of a single person I know who has bought any form of life insurance for a newborn. Um, do you know how much a month roughly your parents have been putting into your life insurance policy? Like, what's the payment that you're making on your life insurance?
Yeah, so it's about, I want to say it's around $200 to $300 a month. But just like any insurance, when you pay your premiums in this, a significant portion actually goes towards the cash value, the investment,
Yeah.
which is getting invested by the insurance company into different stock market indices. Whereas opposed to normal other types of life insurance, most of it is actually going to the cost of insurance.
Yeah. No, I love this, because whenever we've had life insurance people on and talked about it, a lot of investors are very concerned about, losing their ability to purchase, because it can take 5, 6, 7 years before you hit the point where pulling money out makes a lot of sense. But obviously, you're older than 5, 6, or 7 years old, and your parents have been paying into it. And so you're actually at the point at 19 years old. Now, were you 19 or were you 18 when you bought, and now you're 19?
19. So
You're
are
19
these,
whenever you bought. Okay.
yeah.
So you've had 19 years of growth. So they've been putting in, at that point in time, what, about $2,500 a year. So they've put in about
Well,
$40,000
so
to $50,000. If I had to guess, your policy is worth significantly more than $40,000 or $50,000 right now. Would I be roughly accurate on that?
So actually, I have two policies for myself. So the first one that my parents started when I was born is very minimal. They were putting in like 40, $50 a month. It was only up until 3 or 4 years ago when they saw the cash value growth it's going to be a lot more. So then we started putting in $200 to $300 a month.
Okay. Yeah. So, but I'm guessing it's a lot higher value now than it was
Right,
the
right.
amount they put in.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you find, like, what was your first investment?
It was a duplex in North Carolina.
Okay. And let's just right off the bat, if people don't know where your college is, you do not live in that. You're not house hacking it, right?
No, no, no. I'm living at Montclair State University. I'm dorming.
Yeah. All right.
This was in northern New Jersey.
A dorming kid. I'm willing to bet you could walk around and talk to every single person in that dorm, and nobody else owns a single family or duplex anywhere. So tell us about how you found that. Was it a local thing that you found, or was it something you've been searching all around the country? How did you find this first deal?
So my dad does a lot of real estate investing in North Carolina as well. And he's developed a really good relationship with his property managers. So they actually give him deals sometimes that they see fit, that's a good investment. But he's at that kind of point where he doesn't need any more properties. He's actually looking to downsize, I'm pretty sure. So he showed it to me, and I was like, yeah, I'll start here, I guess.
Okay. And how did you get, you probably didn't pull out, you probably didn't pay cash for it. Was it difficult at all to convince a lender or convince a seller to take you seriously as a 19-year-old?
No, not really. I had my dad co-sign on it, so there was that too. So I didn't really have to worry about that.
Nice. I love this, because the big thing I want to impart here, not just the importance of starting young, but the importance of the kind of showing the kid along and actually setting the example. So whenever your dad was owning real estate, you were growing up, were you running numbers with him? Were you, helping him with any like management or rehabs on it? Or were you just kind of sitting back and you would hear your parents talking about it at the table?
I would pretty much sitting back and hearing my parents talk about it at the table. And then eventually, once I got to a certain age, I started researching a little bit more on myself, listening to podcasts. I remember watching rent to retirement videos. Um, and also there's this one really great tax law firm that does really great presentations about real estate investing. So I listen to them too.
That is not the podcast that I think of high schoolers and early college kids listening to. So now, was it, if you want to hear his dad's interview, just scroll back about 3-4 years, go back to 2021, and you can hear his dad's interview on the show. But what are your plans for real estate investing? Like, are you just going to be, adding them just through your life insurance? Are you planning to get like one a year, one every other year? What goals do you have for yourself?
Yeah. So I'm planning to just I don't have a specific number in mind. Obviously, at least 1 a year is my goal, but if I can get, 2 or 3 a year, that'd be perfect. I just wanna get to a certain point to where when I graduate college, I don't have to, go searching for a job left and right. I have enough time, I have passive income coming in that I can use, and then, kinda go from there.
Are you saving up for your next property purchase? Connect Invest in partnership with Rent to Retirement can help you reach your goal faster. With Connect Invest short notes, you can invest as little as $500 in U.S. real estate projects and earn annualized returns up to 9%, all while keeping your capital flexible. Instead of waiting for traditional savings to grow, put your money to work with fixed rate returns and short term options of 6, 12, or 24 months. Maximize your savings and get closer to your next property sooner. Start today at connectinvest.com/RTR. Managing rentals doesn't have to be overwhelming. With over 28,000 rental units using HEMLANE, landlords are getting back their time without giving up control. Find 24/7 repair coordination, hands-free leasing and tenant placement, automated rent collection, and more. Rent to Retirement has partnered with HEMLANE to give landlords like you the tools you need to scale your investments with confidence. Take control today. Book a demo and see how it works, and get up to 25% off when you fully sign up. Tell me about the impact that it's had. I mean, obviously, you're probably a ways off from having kids of your own, but have you started thinking about, hey, whenever I have kids, I need to start doing this too? Like, are you thinking, man, I'm gonna get a whole life insurance policy for my kid the day they're born, or kind of how has that impacted your future plans?
Yeah, 100%. As soon as I have kids, I haven't thought about kids yet, but, as soon as I have kids, I'm definitely gonna get them one of those index solutions that grows really aggressively. So by the time they're my age, 19 or 20, when they're in college, they can do the same.
Yeah.
They can borrow out of their policy, and, kinda go from there.
Yeah. Now, have you actually visited the property that you own? Do you self manage it? Do you have a manager? Kind of how are you running that?
Yeah, I have a property management company that handles it. I have not seen the property, but, I'm actually planning to go to North Carolina in February. I wanna say mid-February, so might check it out at that time.
Yep, there you go. Just you got to swing by, check it out, talk to the property manager, write it off on the taxes that you're probably not going to have to pay anything on anyway, because real estate is a phenomenal investment on that front. So, what has been the most surprising thing to you about your real estate? Well, I'm assuming how long have you owned it? I don't know exactly how old you are, and what lessons have you learned from actually investing?
Yeah, so I got it, I wanna say late last year in October, early October. Um, some of the lessons I've learned is that not everything goes as smoothly as I thought it would. I've heard different horror stories about tenants not paying and, all this other stuff, but I never actually thought it would happen to me until it did. So, just going through all those things, and then also asset protection too, learning how to protect yourself by having a property under an LLC and then under another holding company, just different things like that. Kind of caught me off guard with the whole process, a little bit of issues, but everything's all fine now.
I know for a fact that there's no other kid in your dorm who's setting up holding companies and LLCs, even if it's not for real estate. I mean, that's higher level stuff that's clearly, um, I'm guessing either your dad, your mom and dad, or some combination thereof teaching you that stuff. So how did you start? You know, what was their conversation with you about? I mean, asset protection. I mean, what was it? Just you need to do this, or this is why you need to do this? How did they approach that with you?
Yeah, so they said, they told me that, once you start acquiring more properties, you want to make sure that you are anonymous to your tenants, right? Because sometimes people are just looking for a payout. If they find out you own multiple properties, they can go after all of them. So I started focusing on that side, learning how to protect myself. That law firm that I mentioned before, they're really great. They show you exactly how to structure the different LLCs. So I just kind of follow them step by step. My dad's also a client with them, so they helped us out throughout the whole process. And yeah, it's been great.
Think back to the last time you bought a property. Did you love the mortgage process? No. The team of investor financing strategists at Blueprint Home Loans have created a better way by simplifying the lending process. They're investors too, and they understand the problems you experience with traditional residential mortgage lenders, which is why they created an investor-focused team that will give you the blueprint to build and scale your portfolio. Blueprint Home Loans is a creative, direct lender who lends in every state except New York, so you can easily change markets without having to change lenders. Whether you're just getting started or looking to scale, they're the strategic partners you have been looking for to help you achieve your goals. Blueprint is 5-star rated on Google and have helped thousands of investors over the past 20 years. Their team of conventional and non-conventional lending experts love talking strategy and will help you scale your business. To schedule your no-cost strategy session, call 888-343-1043 or go to blueprinthomeloans.com/rent to retirement. Looking for an edge in real estate? For over 30 years, RealSource Residential has pioneered research on real estate cycles and market timing. They don't just follow trends, they identify them with analytics to pinpoint high-growth markets. RealSource Residential offers access to invest in prime multifamily opportunities where underperforming properties are transformed to unlock value and maximize passive income. Visit www.realsourceresidential.com/RTR to subscribe for real estate insights, market reports, exclusive opportunities, and tools to grow your wealth with confidence. RealSource Residential, where experience meets innovation and investors come first. In general, if you met with another kid in in college who was not at all considering real estate, because nobody I knew in college was considering real estate, kind of what lessons or what things would you talk to them about the importance of doing something like this?
Well, I mean, most of the people I talk to here, if I tried talking to them about that, it would go right through one ear and right out the other. So, but I mean, the best thing you could do is start young, start saving your money. Don't just spend it on all these different things. I have a few friends who have hoodies that are worth over $600-700. I'm like, why do you need a $600 or $700 hoodie? That
That's
doesn't.
multiple months of cash flow, man. What are you
Yeah,
doing?
exactly. Save that money, and then over time, you're gonna have that money for a down payment sooner than you expect.
So, who are you talking with about real estate? Like, who are you learning from? Is it just YouTube and podcasts and your parents, or have you gone out into the community and started meeting with like meetup groups, or what are you doing to continue your education now that you are an investor and
Yeah,
finding
so
mentors?
so I actually went to a real estate event, a long time ago, and one of the vendors there who was, doing presentations, they practice in the BRR method, the Burr method. Um, so I found that interesting. So I gave him a call after the event, and I actually became an intern for them over the summer, that summer. And I got to know the guys to a certain point, and they invited me to one of their events down south. And it's part of this real estate investor association. Now that was about 2 hours for me. So I didn't really want to go to that. But I did more research and I found out that they have um, the Real Estate Investor Association for different like area groups in New Jersey. So I found the Metro one. So I'm part of the Metro Real Estate Investor Association now. And they host really great events teaching you, all the ins and outs about real estate. So that's kind of where I've been continuing my education there, and on top of YouTube and podcasts too.
That's phenomenal. Who as you look out in your future, you're talking about getting one a year, maybe more if finances can do it. Are you considering doing a Burr method, or how are you going to go about continuing to find properties? And when do you think you're going to get to the point where you're going to say, you know what, Dad, I don't need you to co-sign?
Yeah, I haven't really thought about the Burr method right now. I'm just kind of, just trying to focus on that next down payment and then just kind of go from there. And then I guess when I get to a certain point where I have a decent, at least I want to say $40,000 or $50,000 a year in passive income cash flow, then I guess at that point I could say, I don't need you anymore, Dad. I could take it from here.
That's great. Now, what's your dad said to you since you've gotten started? I mean, you mentioned you heard about the hiccups. Has it changed the conversations y'all have had at all, or your relationship at all? How has that been impacted?
No, it hasn't been impacted. Actually, after I got my first property, he said, okay, now start worrying about the next one. So it's just always moving forward, moving forward.
Yeah. So as you've gotten into it, have you, talked to your dad about you being, you helping him with his portfolio, maybe kicking some payment towards you, or are you just focused solely on your portfolio?
Solely on my portfolio right now. My brother's also up and coming too. He's in high school, so my dad's gotta, help him out too. So I'm focusing on my thing, and then my dad's slowly starting to help him too.
Is your brother's goal to invest by 18, so he's younger than you whenever he
Yeah,
buys?
exactly. He wants to do it 1 year younger than me. Everything he does.
Phenomenal. So what would you say to someone who was considering, somebody not your age, somebody older, considering real estate? What would your talk to them be? And especially the real estate investment groups. What do you say to them?
Yeah, I mean, I see so many people who just get caught up in analysis paralysis. They have the money sitting there that they can use. They just don't use it. They keep it in the bank. Or if you think about it, you keep it in the bank because number one, it's safe. And number two, it's liquid. But you're earning, I guess, 0.05% in the bank, which is next to nothing. And inflation's moving at 2.6%. So even though you're technically earning on your money, it's decreasing in value a lot faster. So you can either keep that money there, let it decrease over time, or you can put it in something like real estate that's going to appreciate, that's going to give you monthly cash flow. And if you keep building up from that, you can retire a lot earlier too. You don't have to work till age 65, age 70.
Well, that's a great message. So I really want the big things I wanted to talk about today, and the things I really want to drive home to people is the actions that you're doing now impact your kids. Impact that. I mean, I'm assuming if your dad wasn't a real estate investor and doing stuff there, do you think there's any chance on earth you would own a duplex in North Carolina?
Not right now, no. Not at the age of 19. Maybe later on, but
Yeah.
the fact that I'm starting so early, it's definitely my parents doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's planning for your kids' future, like you were saying with the life insurance and swapping it over and doing all of that. It's really about setting your family up. We talk about generational wealth on this show a lot, and this is a prime example of generational wealth. It's not him handing off wealth to you specifically. He's not handing you a property to manage, a property that he's going to, give to you or gift to you. All of these things. It's really setting up the mindset inside of you, right? That's kind of the importance that he instilled more than anything, was just saying, hey, you need to get started on this. This is how you can do it. Let me show you the way, and doing all of that. So I love to hear these stories from people about it. So I really appreciate you coming on and joining us and telling your
Yeah,
story.
of
Is there
course.
anything else you'd like to tell people?
I'm not sure. Not off the top of my head, I don't know. But
Well,
yeah, I guess just start as soon as possible. It's never too early or it's never too late either.
fantastic. Well, if you want to see some properties to acquire for yourself that don't require anything to do, and you can just have it all done for you with property management, properties, and everything, you can head over to renttoretirement.com, click on the inventory tab up at the top, and it'll pop up for you a list of properties all around the country with teams that have been fully vetted and are ready to help you along the way. And as always, if you have any questions, please send them to podcast@renttoretirement.com. Or if you want to tell your story, you can also email podcast@renttoretirement, and we will help you with that. It looks like you have one more thing you want to say.
Yeah, one more thing too. Since I've done it too, since using life insurance has worked for me, I actually started my own firm too, where I help people do the exact same thing. Use the index solutions to then use the insurance company's money to then get real estate. Or say for your retirement or kids' education planning for your kids when they go to college. It's right here actually. The name of my company is Cordis.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
you want his contact information, send us an email. We're not going to give out a 19-year-old's email on the on the podcast. So email podcast rent to retirement and say, hey, I want to get in touch with Dhruv if that's what you want to do. So you can send that again. It's right there on your screen, or if you're listening, we'll post it there again. podcast@renttoretirement.com. Really appreciate all of y'all joining us today to educate yourselves. Dhruv, really appreciate you telling your story. I think not only are young people going to find it inspiring, but hopefully parents find it inspiring for their kids. So I really appreciate it, and y'all have yourselves a great day.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Thanks for watching the Rent to Retirement YouTube channel. Check out some of our other videos, like this one, or this one here.